Hi, fourth graders. Today we're going to be studying fibers. Hopefully you already got a chance to check out some of the different fiber artworks from around the world. This will help your inspiration for today. Hi, thank you so much for tuning into the fourth grade fiber lesson. My name's Mr. Boatfield. I teach at Christie Elementary in Plano, and this week I'm going to be showing you the project. Using fiber and weaving has a very rich cultural history. Hopefully you got a chance to look at the attached slideshow and kind of see the different patterns, colors that different cultures have chosen to use when they use fiber as a material for their art. Chances are you have either had experience with weaving, or there might be something woven inside your house. So think of a wicker chair. Or ladies, if you ever braid hair, that could be considered a weaving. Hair would be considered a fiber. So think about the way that weaving has already impacted you in the way that you live your daily life. So my goal in this video is to give you some different options of how you can complete this project. Also, I try to keep in mind that every family has different materials. So I'm gonna give you just a range of different options that you can choose from. You don't have to do all of them unless you're just a superstar and really want to. You just have to choose one that works for you, or you can come up with your own way. That's even better in my opinion, because it shows us that you are really using that artist's creative license. So any material can be used for this, and I'm gonna go ahead and show you some of the methods now. All right, so I realized that all families are different. Every family and household has their own materials. So I'm gonna show you a few different methods of how you can complete this project. The first one is going to need a little bit of paper, some scissors, a ruler, something that you can draw, make designs with. If you don't have those things, that's fine. I'm gonna give you a few more options, and so just depending on what materials you have at home, you can choose one that you like. However, it's also very creative, and you can use your artist license and come up with your own way to show weaving. I've seen some students who use clothes to weave. I've seen students who use yarn. Maybe you already have your own method of weaving that you just are gifted and know how to do. So however you wanna show us your idea, your knowledge of weaving is totally fine. All right, so I have my piece of paper. First, you're gonna decide which one you wanna start with. This is gonna be the warp. This is gonna be what we're weaving into, and that'll make a little bit more sense later. You might wanna just watch this first and then follow along later once you have the time. I'm going to start with this green one, which means I'm going to put the other colors out of the way. Then I'm going to take this green sheet of paper and fold it in half. Now your piece of paper might be a different size, and that's okay. So what I want you to notice is that when I folded it, I could open it, but I'm gonna keep it closed. This side is the fold. I called it the fold because, well, there's a fold. And then there's the flap. This is the part that you could open. Keep it flat. All right, now that I have it flat in front of me, I'm gonna turn it so that the fold is facing towards me. Now you're going to need your marker and your ruler or straight edge. Remember, the edge of a book could work too for this. I'm gonna measure out. I'm going to find the flap. So the flap is away from me. I'm gonna move my ruler or straight edge, and I'm going to make a mark all the way across. So as you can see, here's the flap. There's that line. I left about 1 inch of space in between the edge of the flap in this line. This is gonna be really important. Then I'm going to take the ruler and I'm going to draw a line starting from the line I just drew towards the fold, so towards you. And I'm just gonna repeat this over and over. It really doesn't matter how many lines you put. It will change your weaving later on. All right, so now I'm gonna take my scissors, and I want you to watch carefully because this is the part where a lot of my students get a little bit confused. You're going to cut from the fold, that line, until it hits this vertical line that you're looking at now. So let me show you what that might look like. I'm taking my scissors, cutting, and then you must stop. Otherwise, this will not work out for you. Cut, 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 cut. Just watch yourself, make sure you're cutting away from you, don't want to get hurt. All right, now you'll know you did it right when you open it up and you see how cool it looks. It's really tempting to play with it. Now you're going to need your other colors of piece of paper. What you're gonna do is you're gonna find some colors that you like, and you are going to be making the pieces that we are going to be weaving in through the paper. You could use one color, you could use a few different colors like me. You have to think about how this is gonna work. So I'm gonna use my ruler and kind of show you what it might look like. So obviously this is a ruler and not a piece of paper. We're gonna go under, over, under, over, under, over to make our weaving. And we're gonna complete it all the way down. So we're only gonna need pieces of paper as long as the piece of paper that we use for our warp, our loom. So in this case, since my warp is horizontal, I'm gonna need to cut some vertical pieces. So I'm just cutting all of my pieces at once. And as you can see, they're a perfect size for our warp. All right, so obviously you need more than just 3 pieces like me. I'm just gonna go ahead and get it started so you can get an idea of what this might look like. I'm gonna take my first piece and you get to decide. Are you gonna go under or are you gonna go over that first piece? I'm gonna go under. So I go under this guy right here, over the next one, under the bridge, over the field, under the bridge, over the field, under the bridge. And then I just kind of like to tuck it, make sure it looks nice and neat. Now I'm gonna go in with my second color, or maybe you're just using the same color, it's up to you. And I have to do the opposite. So I went under for this first one. I'm gonna start by going over, then under, over, then under, over, then under, over. And so the cool thing about doing it that way is it gives you this really cool checkerboard pattern. I'm gonna do one more and then I'm gonna finish this. I'm gonna go under, then over, under, over, under, over. You might wanna get this pattern kind of stuck in your brain because you're gonna use it a lot. And then I just tuck it up. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this, fill it all up with colors that I wanna add, and I'm gonna show you how you can complete this. Before I move on, I wanted to give you a tip on if you make a mistake. Because if this is the first time you're trying this, chances are you're gonna make one mistake, like I did here. Can you tell what maybe went wrong? If you guess that I did not follow the pattern correctly, then you're correct. I wanted that checkerboard pattern, but I forgot that I have to switch it up every time. If you ever make a mistake, bam, just pull it out and try it again. So instead, for the next one, I'm gonna go under, and that solves your problem. Please don't get frustrated, just try your best and slow down. All right, so here's what I have. I know I'm done because I filled it up as much as I could. If I had more room, I probably would have put another blue one just to kind of keep up that pattern. Oh well, it's all good. So before you do this next step, it's really good that you check it over, make sure there's nothing you want to change. Remember, if you ever need to change anything, just pull it out and try again. There's nothing permanent yet. However, when you are done, I'm going to take a little bit of glue and I'm going to glue down the sides. You could also tape down the sides if you don't have glue. A glue stick would work fine. But I'm taking all these little tabs and gluing them right down. This will stop it from moving around. That way, when we start adding some design, we can continue and not have to worry about ruining our weaving. You also need to flip it over and do the other sides. In a moment, I'm gonna start drawing on my weaving. It's up to you how you wanna decorate this, or maybe you like it the way it is. That's fine too. All right, it's been a minute or so. I think it's drying. I'm gonna go ahead and take some of my markers. You might have crayons, or you may not wanna add any decoration. And I'm gonna go back in and just give it a little bit of design. The fun part about this is that you can kind of get lost in it. It's kind of like a Zentangle. I wonder what designs you're gonna create. And I don't quite know what this is gonna look like yet, but that's the fun part, is I get to decide. Add some different designs, you can make patterns, you can switch it up, or maybe you can do it all the same. It's totally up to you. What are you inspired by? All right, so it's been a little bit of time. I went ahead and added some design to my work, and I think I like it. I've seen some students, they'll take some scissors, Maybe you want to make this kind of look like a rug or a piece of fabric. Some people cut tiny little lines and make it look like fringe. You could be so creative with this. Now, let's say you don't have paper, or maybe this just looks a little bit too hard for you. I'm gonna go ahead and show you some different ways of achieving a weaving without using paper. You can also use some colorful t-shirts or some towels to make a weaving. It's actually pretty easy. You'll just find your t-shirt or towels, you'll fold them. I usually fold it to where it kind of looks like a long piece of fabric, so I just roll it over. Then you're going to assemble them. I usually do 3 horizontal, 3 vertical, and then I start weaving. So it'll take a little bit of problem solving because this isn't paper here. Give it your best try. See if you can make a weaving out of something like clothes, or maybe a tie or some belts. If you're a lady, you could braid someone's hair. That would be a weaving. Here's some pictures for your inspiration. This one is of some t-shirts. Some belts woven together. Maybe you want to go on a scavenger hunt and find something that is woven in your house. I bet you'll be surprised at what you find. Could be a woven rug. Maybe there's some baskets in your house that are woven. Could you also maybe look up an artist and research them? Here I'm actually taking some Play-Doh and I'm going to make a weaving out of different colors of Play-Doh. It's totally up to you what kind of art you want to create today. So check this out. I just used Play-Doh to create my weaving. There's so many different ideas, and I bet you can come up with one too. So your teachers are so excited to see what you're going to create. I bet you can come up with some even more innovative ideas and totally amaze us with what you came up with. So have a wonderful week, and we are so excited to see what you're going to create.